Hey guys and gals, this is lesson number 2, integer operations. If you've chosen to do this, that means you're doing extra work, which is totally fine. Subtracting integers. So let's get into this right away. So using example 1 is using a number line to find the value. So for subtracting integers, number lines are not something that I'm fond of because it does take a certain level of understanding what you're doing to even do this properly, okay? So use your number line to find the value of each expression. So you're starting off at 4, okay, and you're saying going minus 5. You're going 5 in the minus direction, negative 5. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're left at negative 1. Not so bad, this one. So this is where it gets a little kind of tricky. You're starting off with 5, and then this double negative thing happens. No, you're starting off at 5, and you're subtracting with the negative 4. So negative 4 is over here. You're seeing how far, what's the distance from negative 4 to 5? That is 9, and that's your answer here. It's a little weird and it's a little confusing. I think the rule in this one is a little easier, especially changing it to an addition. I think that's the main important part of this is changing the subtraction into an adding problem. So I'll go over that next. All right, so that's why I'm going to have you try this. Subtracting integers. So you see it in red. I wrote rewrite the expression as an integer addition expression. Then follow the rules of adding integers. Crucial step. Really want to do this. Rewrite it, okay? And I'll go over this when I do problems. But let's go over the rules for adding integers again. When both integers are positive, then add the numbers and keep the sign, the positive sign. Both integers are negative, then add the numbers and keep the sign, which is negative. Integers have different signs, then subtract the numbers and use the sign of the larger number. And if you're confused about this, I'll really go back and watch the adding integers problem again. So find the value of each expression without using a number line. So let's change this and again, the first step, the crucial step, is rewriting this as an integer addition expression. So what that means is instead of having a subtraction sign, you want an addition sign. The way you would go about doing this is doing negative 2 plus, because this is a negative number, this also means a negative 3. You're adding a negative 3 to that. So this is negative 2 minus 3 is the same thing as saying negative 2 plus negative 3. And now you're going to the rules above over here. So if they're the same sign, both are negative, you're adding these two. So you're going to be doing 2 plus 3, which is 5. And you make it negative because both numbers are negative, and this is your answer. All right, let's do another one as an example. So changes to an addition. Again, so we changed this. What that subtraction did is you change it to a negative 3. What this means is that you're taking the opposite of negative 3. So this is going to be 1 equals 1 plus 3. That's all this does. When you have a negative on the outside and a negative on the inside, this is just saying what is the opposite of negative 3, and that's positive 3. So you're just going to have a 1 plus 3, and we know that is 4. Let's do another one again. So you're going to have negative 5. The opposite of negative 4 is a positive 4. And you have two different signs. So it's going to be 5 minus 4, which is a 1. And because the 5 is a larger number and it's negative, it's going to be negative 1. Let's do another one. Negative 6 minus 3. So you're going to have negative 6. And the opposite, this negative, opposite of positive 3 is a negative 3. So you can do adding negative 3. This is similar to the first one, A. Doing that negative means the opposite of a positive 3, which is a negative 3. So you're going to be adding two negatives this time. So the same sign is 6 plus 3, which is 9. And because they're both negative, the answer is negative. And I understand this can get very confusing. It's practice. It's when you have something like 5 minus 9, this is saying the opposite of positive 9, so it's going to be 5 plus negative 9. When you have something like 5 minus negative 9, this is saying the opposite of negative 9. That means it's going to be 5 plus, and the opposite of negative 9 is 9, so 5 plus 9. That's how you really want to kind of think about it, and the more you do it again, the easier it gets. So I'm going to pause the video here, and I want you to practice these on your own, and then I'm going to come back with the answers. Hey, welcome back. These are the answers over here. So 20 plus 8 ends up being 28. This, I actually didn't change it to a negative. It's an integer addition problem anyway. They're different signs, so subtract. Take the sign of a larger number. C, you rewrite it as negative 6 plus negative 2. And they're the same sign, so you're adding, ends up being negative 8. 30 minus 39, you rewrite it as 30 plus negative 39. And then you do subtraction because they're different signs. So 39 minus 30 is 9, and the larger number is 39, so it's negative. Okay? Last two problems, word problems. So the melting point of mercury is approximately negative 39. The melting point of chlorine is approximately negative 101. How much higher is the melting point? How much higher is mercury's melting point than chlorine's melting point? So when you have how much higher, something like this is typically mean subtraction, okay? Because you're trying to find like the difference. How much higher is my height than yours, or something like that, or your height than mine? Because I'm short. It usually means subtraction. So you're subtracting these two numbers. It's going to be negative 39 minus negative 101. And now we are rewriting this as negative 39. The opposite of negative 101 is a positive 101. You are subtracting these two because they're different signs. So 101 minus 39, which is 62. Yes, 62. And which of these two is the larger number? 101, and it's positive, so it ends up being 62 degrees Celsius. Okay, that's the 62 degrees higher, Celsius higher. Okay. Next problem. The elevation in a skyscraper reaches 120 feet above the ground at its highest point. When it is stopped in the basement, it is 17 feet below ground. How far is it from the highest point of the elevator path to the lowest point? So you are doing, how far is it? So even when you're looking at this visually, you're 120 feet above, right? And then you're negative 17 below, okay? So it's going to be 120 minus negative 17, which is 120 plus 17, and that is 137 feet. Okay. Hope that helped you with subtracting integers. Bye, guys.